Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we have a full body Vinyasa flow. You don't need a block, but I would grab one if you do have one handy. It's just gonna make some of these exercises a little bit more accessible. We'll do some core work with the block as well. Otherwise, you can totally do this class without a block. You just need you and your mat. And we're gonna get started in child's pose whenever you're ready. I'll see you there. We're going to be focusing on larger movement today, so settle into your child's pose for just a few rounds of breath. Right away, beginning to lengthen your inhales and your exhales. Reaching the crown of your head and your tailbone in opposite directions as you lengthen through the spine and open the shoulders. And find a breath that you can maintain throughout practice, maybe in for 3, out for 3. Breathing out through the nose when you want to build some heat in the body, out through the mouth when you want to find a little bit of a release. Take one more breath in stillness. And at the bottom of the exhale, start to walk the left hand towards the left corner of the mat. Walk your right hand on top of the left for a side body stretch on the right side, actively pulling your right hip back as you reach the fingertips towards the top left corner of the mat. And then when you're ready, keep your right hand where it is. Start to walk your left fingertips in line with your left knee. Tent your left fingertips and open up through the left shoulder. Feel that openness, the twist in the torso. As you press down into the right arm, you'll feel the right shoulder open up even more. Just take a breath and then slowly come back through center, finding your child's pose. And then take it over to the other side. Right hand to the top right corner of the mat. Left hand on top of the right. Actively pull your left hip back. Square your hips forward. And find that deep stretch in the left side of the body. When you're ready, keep your left hand where it is at the top right corner of the mat. Walk the right fingertips in line with the right knee. Tent the fingertips and press into the fingertips as you open up towards the right side. Gazing past your right shoulder, actively pressing your left arm down to feel the stretch in the left shoulder still happening. And then slowly make your way back to the right side and then back through center, taking an inhale. Stay for your exhale. And on your next inhale, slowly come back to a tabletop position, stacking your wrists underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips, finding a couple rounds of cat-cow on the inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze. On the exhale, tuck the chin, round through the spine, warming up all the different parts of your spine, exaggerating both of these movements, moving with your breath. We'll start to add in a little bit of an element of core here. So next time you inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze. Your cow pose stays the same. Make sure your toes are tucked as you round the spine and tuck your chin to your chest. Lift your knees just an inch off the ground as they hover. You're engaging your rectus abdominis, your six-pack abs. Drop the knees as you inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze. As you exhale, tuck chin, round spine, lift knees just an inch, press the ground away from you, and lower back down. Do that for a couple more rounds. And come back to a neutral tabletop position after your next round. Engage your core one more time. Lift your knees off of the ground and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2. On 1, lift the hips. Find your first downward facing dog. Option to walk your hands slightly forward of your shoulders. Fingertips are spread nice and wide. Feet are about hips width distance apart. You can find movement if that feels good here. Maybe you settle into stillness. Maybe you're bending into one knee at a time or lifting through the heels. Whatever feels good for this first full body stretch. Just here for a few rounds of breath, whether that's movement or stillness is up to you. One more round. And at the bottom of the exhale, bend the knees, look to the top of the mat, and slower than you want to, walk your feet all the way up to your hands, finding a rag doll at the top, bending the knees generously, grabbing onto opposite elbows, just letting everything hang heavy as you let go of tension in the upper body. Maybe you rock side to side. Maybe you shake the head yes and no. Tucking chin to the chest to release through the cervical spine. From here, we'll take this to a twist. Tense your left fingertips in front of your feet. Bend your left knee, straighten your right leg. Reach your right fingertips up to the sky. As you straighten through the right leg, you'll feel a stretch in the back of the right leg in the IT band. One breath. And then come back through center, switch it out. Take your right fingertips down in front of the feet. Bend your right knee, straighten your left leg, and reach your left fingertips up to the sky. Keep your core engaged. Feel the stretch in your left IT band in the back of your left leg as you pull your left hip back. One inhale. Stay for your exhale. And then slowly come back through center, bringing both fingertips down to the ground, tucking chin to chest, and slowly rolling up through standing one vertebrae at a time. We're going to flow through a couple rounds of a sun bee. It's going to be a little bit non-traditional today. We'll take the first couple rounds together, and then we'll add on. Bring your big toes to touch, slight gap in the heels. Inhale, sit low, find your chair pose. Sink your weight into your heels, keep your chest proud as you sit lower. Spiral pinkies in towards one another to relax the shoulders. We're gonna hold this first round for 5, 4, sink a little bit lower for 3, 2, on 1, hinge at the hips and fold forward. Stay here for an extra breath. This first round is slow. Take an inhale, halfway lift. Hands can come to the shins. Exhale, plant the hands and step back to your high plank. From your high plank, rock your shoulders forward of your wrist creases. We're going to lower down on a 4 count. For 4, coming to your low push-up for 3, for 2, on 1, hold at 90. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra, roll over the tops of the feet. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take an inhale, lift your right leg up to the sky. On your exhale, step your right foot in between your hands. Find your crescent lunge. Back heel is lifted, fingertips reach up to the sky. Beautiful. Hips are square, right knee is bent to 90, core is engaged. Holding this first one, relaxing your shoulders. Take an inhale here, and on your exhale, hinge at the hips as you airplane the arms. Again, just holding this first one, feeling the weight start to transfer into the right leg, but keeping your left foot grounded. Inhale, take it back to your crescent lunge. And on your exhale, plant the hands, step back high to low plank, flow through your vinyasa. Remember, you always have the option to drop your knees in your vinyasa. You're in my way, Ari. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take an inhale, lift your left leg up to the sky. On your exhale, step the left foot in between the hands. Inhale, lift up, fingertips reach. Back heel is lifted high. Holding this first one, square your hip points forward, relax your shoulders, take an inhale, and on your exhale, hinge at the hips as you airplane the arms. Beautiful. Feeling the weight transfer into the left leg. Take an inhale here, stay for your exhale. Next inhale, find your crescent lunge, and on your exhale, plant the hands, step back, high plank, flow through your vinyasa, and we meet back in downward facing dog. Once you arrive in your downward facing dog, take one breath in. Stay for your exhale. When you're ready, bend the knees, look to the top of the mat. Walk or jump feet to hands, big toes come to touch. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, stand tall. We're going to flow through 2 rounds a little bit faster. Breath to movement. Big toes come to touch, slight gap in the heels. Take an inhale, sit low, chair pose. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, high to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, hinge and airplane. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, plant the hands, high to low plank, flow through your vinyasa. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, hinge and airplane. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, plant the hands, high to low plank, flow through your vinyasa. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 2 breaths this time. The bottom of the second exhale, bend the knees, look to the top of the mat. Walk or jump your feet to your hands. Big toes come to touch. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, stand tall. 1 more round and then we'll add on. Take an inhale, lift the right leg up, into your chair pose, Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands, high to low plank, option to drop the knees. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, hinge. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, plant the hands, high to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, hinge. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, plant the hands, high to low plank. Flow through your vinyasa and meet back in downward facing dog. When you arrive in down dog, options. Can drop the knees for child's pose. You can come down to your elbows and start to walk the toes in closer, finding your dolphin pose. Maybe you stay in stillness in your down dog, or again, drop your knees and find a child's pose. Come back to your breath for a couple rounds before we start to add on to that sequence. Just another round or breath of 2. Round of breath or 2. Oh my goodness. And then when you're ready, slowly start to make your way back to downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, we'll start the same way. Take an inhale, lift the right leg up to the sky. Exhale, step the right foot in between the hands. Lift up, find your crescent lunge. We're going to flow those 2 poses this time. Inhale is your crescent lunge. Exhale, you hinge, you airplane the arms. Keep moving with your breath. Inhale, crescent, it's just like a dance. Exhale, fold, hinge, airplane the arms. Move with your breath. That could be fast or slow, whatever feels good. And the next time that you find yourself in your crescent lunge, in your airplane arms with the hinge, stay here. Start to feel the weight transfer into the right leg, and when you're ready, take off into a warrior 3. Left leg is lifted in line with the hip. Find your balance. And then from here, start to bring the left knee into the chest. Find your one-legged mountain pose. From your one-legged mountain pose, arms go up. Cross your left foot to the other side of the right foot so the pinky edge side of the feet touch. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold forward. With this cross-legged forward fold, you'll feel a stretch in the back of the legs and the right IT band. This is where if you have a block, it might come in handy. we're going to transition into our half moon pose. So take your right hand down to the ground or to the block, sweep your left leg up and around, left fingertips reach up to the sky, and you're opening up towards the left side of your mat. Try and keep your hip nice and open, long line of energy from right fingertips to left. You can challenge your balance by hovering the fingertips above the block or above the mat. Stay here for another breath. And then very gently step it back to your warrior two. Once you arrive in your warrior two, cartwheel the arms so that they are at a long T. Relax your shoulders and breathe. Feel the weight in the lower body. Shoulders will start to turn on, keeping the arms lifted. From here, flip your front palm, reverse your warrior. Maybe you take this into a sky archer pose, grabbing onto your right wrist with your left hand, flexing your right foot so the toes lift off of the mat, reaching back just a little bit further. From here, bring it back to a T. Legs are straight, reach forward, triangle pose. Right arm down, left arm up. Stay here for a few rounds of breath. Option to take a bind, left hand behind the back. Option to take a core variation with the arms up above the head. And then when you're ready, keeping the bind if you have it, take it into a side angle pose. Right forearm to right thigh. Right forearm is light on the thigh. Fingertips can either be up towards the sky or in that half bind. And then when you're ready, unwind, cartwheel the arms, step it back, high to low plank. We're gonna take that on the other side after your vinyasa. So when you're ready, go back to your downward facing dog. Take an inhale, lift the left leg up to the sky. Exhale, step it through, left foot in between the hands. Same thing, we're gonna flow this. Inhale is your crescent lunge. On your exhale, you hinge forward, you airplane the arms. Inhale, crescent lunge, let it be fluid. Exhale, hinge, and airplane the arms. Moving with your breath. And the next time that you find yourself in that airplane pose with your crescent lunge with your airplane arms, hinging forward, let the weight transfer into the left leg and start to take off into your warrior three. Balancing on your left foot, right leg is lifted in line with your hip. Squeeze your inner thighs, engage your core. And then slowly make your way into that one-legged mountain pose position. Right knee comes into tabletop. Fingertips reach up to the sky. Cross your right leg over your left. Take an inhale, fingertips reach up. And on your exhale, begin to fold forward. Should feel the stretch in the opposite IT band here. And then when you're ready, grab the block if you used it on the other side. Left hand comes to the block. Right leg sweeps up and around. Right fingertips reach up to the sky. And you're balancing here. Maybe you start to get light on the left fingertips. Maybe you lift them off of the block. Staying nice and open, long line of energy from left fingertips to right. And then when you're ready, very gently, step it back to your warrior two. Taking up lots of space on the mat. Arms are long at a T. Gaze can be over your left middle finger. Breathing here, allowing the heat to build in the lower body. When you're ready, flip your front palm, reverse it, straighten through your front leg. Option to take this into a sky archer, grabbing onto your left wrist with your right hand, reaching back behind you as you flex the left toes, and they lift off of the ground. One more inhale. On your exhale, put the left foot back down, arms to a T, legs are straight. Fingertips reach forward, find your triangle pose. Left arm down, right arm up. And from here, maybe you stay, maybe you find that half bind, taking your right hand behind your back, grabbing for your left hip crease.
Just staying for another round of breath, remaining nice and open. And then start to bend into your left knee, keeping the bind if you have it, finding your side angle pose. Left forearm to left thigh. Right fingertips can be up above the head or in the bind. Take your gaze over your right shoulder. And then take an inhale, cartwheel the hands, unwind, frame the front foot, and flow through your vinyasa. And from your vinyasa, take an inhale. Exhale, find stillness. One more time, inhale. Exhale, settle in. And then bend the knees, look to the top of the mat, walk or jump your feet to your hands, finding your malasana, your yogi squat. Feet out wide, toes out, heels in. Take your elbows to the insides of the knees. Maybe you take some rocks side to side here. Then if you have a block, grab onto it, hold it out in front of you. Eventually, we're going to come all the way onto the seat, finding a boat pose with the knees in a tabletop position and the block in your hand. Take an inhale here. Exhale. Breathe and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Find your low boat with the block for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift up. One more time, this time just holding for 3, 2, 1. Lower down, hold for 3, 2, 1. Keep the knees in a tabletop position. Lower the head, neck, and shoulders down. Maybe you take a quick stretch here and then come back to that tabletop position. Lift your head, neck, and shoulders. Take the block over to the right side as you lower your left leg to hover above the mat. Then switch it out, take the block over to the left side as you lower your right leg to hover. Beautiful. Keep alternating just like that, finding the tension in your core and your obliques. If this ever becomes too much in the neck, you can always keep this with your head down on the ground. Wherever you are, we're going to hold onto it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back through center and then slowly lower down. Place the block off to the side. Hug the knees into the chest. Start to take some rocks up and down the length of the mat, meeting in a seated position. From your seated position, take your right foot in and then place your right foot to the outside of the left thigh. Take an inhale, fingertips reach up. Exhale, twist to the right. You can stay here, or you can start to bring your left elbow to the outside of the right thigh, finding this nice twist in the torso. And then coming back through center, start to wiggle the right foot over towards the left side of the mat so that your knees stack on top of one another. And then from here, take an inhale, fingertips reach up. On your exhale, fold forward. Again, this is going to be a pretty deep IT band stretch, so don't worry if you don't go as far as you usually do in a fold. Just feel the stretch. Maybe your hands are just resting on either side